Hi guys, and welcome back to another edition of Wizard 101 for old folks. So, we are in Ravenwood and we are going to be talking about the different schools that are available to choose from. Don't worry if you already have one wizard and you decide you want to choose another wizard, because you can choose up to 6 wizards per account. So we'll talk a little bit about the different schools, and then we'll talk a little bit about the differences in the spells that you could have and which ones might be better for you, what you prefer. Anyway, it's going to be loaded with information. We're even going to delve into the spell deck a little bit deeper, and I will be showing you quite a bit more about your individual wizard. So y'all hold on and let's get right into Wizard 101. Okay, so when you come in from the Commons area into Ravenwood, you'll notice on the ground these symbols. These are all the different school symbols that they have. We're going to start right over here with Arthur Wethersfield. Now, Arthur is the professor of balance. If you choose the balance school, you'll start with him, and you'll notice he's the only one that's not in a building. However, once you get through Wizard City and you start Krokotopia, you will find that the balance school that you will get the rest of your spells from is on Krokotopia. Now, balance is a wonderful school to have. They get spells that help other wizards along the path, as well as being able to fight themselves. So, for instance, they can cast, look, it even shows the required. They could cast the weakness spell that you see here, which would make a enemy hit for 25% less. But they also do have their own hitting spells, like the sandstorm, that could hit multiple enemies at one time. That's very nice, especially when you've got it boosted with blades and such as that. Now, in an earlier instructional video, you heard me say I was holding on to my training points because I wanted to get to Krokotopia and get the triple blades and the triple traps. Well, the tree in Krokotopia for the balance school carries those. And if you are part of the balance school, it won't cost you any training points at all to get those. But if you're from any of the other schools, that's when it'll cost you a training point to pick those up. Now, Mr. Wethersfield will only go up to a level 22 player. So once you're past level 22, you'll pick up the rest of your spells from Krokotopia. Now, if you'll go along this way, this is the Storm School. Now, the Storm School is associated with Torrance, the Storm Tree, and it's also got its own tower. There are times when you will be getting new spells that they will tell you to go to the tower and do a duel. And if you go into the School of Storm, you will meet Professor Halston Baelstrom, the Storm Professor. Now, the thing with the Storm School, it's the strongest school of all the schools, in my opinion. However, you will end up with the least amount of life, so it's a very big challenge to keep yourself alive long enough to use those strong spells to kill the bad guys. So it's a trade-off. You'll want to be sure that if you are a Storm student, you have life spells to help you out, and probably want to make sure that you also have plenty of shields. That would help too. The next school is the Ice School, And the ice school is associated with Kelvin, the ice tree. And each of the trees also offer things. These are treasure cards that you can craft. See, these are all crafting elements. So be sure you look at the trees. And of course, there is an ice tower right across from the school. I do have an ice wizard on my other account, and I had a lot of fun with the ice wizard. She's not as strong as a storm wizard, but what's nice about ice is they get a massive amount of life to deal with. So the spells themselves may not be quite as large, may not hit quite as hard as you would get from a storm student. But you make up for that in that you get lots of extra life, giving you extra time to hit those enemies with those spells. Our next school will be the fire school. And the fire school is associated with Bernie the fire tree. Y'all be sure you take enough time to stop and look at the recipes for each of the tree that's offered. They are treasure cards, so that's a lot of fun if you want to craft your own. And there's the tower that you might get sent to do duels. Now, the fire school is more powerful than ice, has a little bit less life, generally speaking, than ice. Professor Falmea is the instructor for the fire school. They have some really nice spells, and they can hit really, really hard. So if you're interested in fire, that's a good one to have. It does fizzle a little bit more, so you'll want to be sure you get accuracy if you choose the fire school. And really, the biggest school that fizzles the absolute most is going to be the storm school. So if y'all choose storm, be sure you get some accuracy on your characters. Now, I almost passed our little death instructor. You'll notice he's a student. His name is Maylorn Ashthorn, and he starts out the death school here. You see the big hole behind him? That's because the death school fell down into the hole at one point in time, and the storyline will tell you all about that. I have already gotten most of the spells from him. I am working my way up to the level 16 vampire spell. Now, what's nice about the death school is that when you're a death school student, a lot of your spells will give you life back. For instance, this ghoul hits the bad guy for 160, but gives you 80 life back. So if you have been hit and you are low on your life, with death spells, a lot of them, you can get life back, so you don't have to focus quite so much on healing. So that's really nice to have. Death School is a really nice... Oh, this is a reagent. You know, I told you reagents were good to pick up, that sometimes you'd find them on the ground. So we're going to pick that up as we go along. Now, remember in my last video, I was talking about the smiths. Here's the smith in Ravenwood, just so that y'all know. Okay, we're coming back out here because this is the myth school, and Ivan is the myth tree that's associated with this school, and of course the tower is right there. I do have a myth wizard on my other account that I am working on. Myth is not a bad school to be in. They have some really strong spells. They have one spell in particular called the Earthquake spell that I know that when we're hit with that spell, we hate it because it takes off all of the blades and it takes off all of your shields, no matter what kind they are, and it's so frustrating. Cyrus Drake is the professor of the myth school, and he is not a very nice man, but it's a good school as far as strength goes. They have a couple of really good spells. The Humongo Frog spell is great to have too. And there's the Earthquake spell that I was talking about. They have the Minotaur. They have some really good hitting spells. So it's not a bad school to be in. They don't fizzle a lot and they are quite powerful. Right across from the Myth School, you will find Monstrologist Burke. Monstrologist Burke teaches us how to do a new questing that has been introduced called Monstrology. Now, you would take these spell cards and add them to your hit spells, and if you kill the monster with your hit spell, you get something called the Animus back out of it, and it does several things. We'll have to get into that at another point in time. Let me run through this right quick because I've got it opened. Okay. This is the Life School, and the Life School is associated with Blossom, the life tree. You see her peeking out over there. The Life School is a wonderful school that really helps everybody else because you're given a whole lot of healing spells to help heal the people around you. You also will have some hitting spells. Like the Seraph and the Centaur, but it's mostly based around healing. You'll get some shields, you'll get a sprite to heal with, you'll get an absorb to put on people and a satyr to heal with. It's not until you're later on down the line that you'll actually get a spell that will hit multiple players if you're Life School. But it's still not a bad school to have. And I do have a Life Wizard. When I got 2 of the different accounts made, I did one that were my heavy hitters, and then I started my second one so that I could have a healer and a balance wizard to assist with my other account. So that's always an idea for you. So that is the schools. Now when you come around here, you'll meet Mr. Stats, and Mr. Stats will give you a daily quest to do just to get some extra rewards for your wizards, and that's a lot of fun to do. Now always remember that if you want to get back into your dorm room, if you'll look at the tunnel to the commons, the dorm rooms are found on either side so that you can get back into your dorm room at any time, or you can always just push the housing buttons. So that's talking, a little bit about each of the schools. Let me tell you just a little bit about your spell book. So if you're in your backpack, these are your decks, and you can see here I have 2. You start with this one, and as you level up, you can go to bigger ones, and eventually you'll get ones that help your statistics as well. If you want to see what's in your spell deck, click on the spell deck down here on the side. These are your regular spells, and you can move them around. You could, if you click on one of them, it goes away. So say I wanted to click on that. I didn't want it in my spell deck, so I click on this one. I didn't want it in my spell deck. Maybe I don't need 3 fairies, so I'll click on that. And then I want to put in my death shields. So I'll go over here and I'll click on the death shield and it'll pop it over here into the spell book. You have an arrow because you're going to be getting spells on, and you'll have several pages worth. Now, if you'll go up here into this very corner, it says treasure cards. If you'll click on treasure cards, these are the additional spells that you can use. They're always yellow. That'll help you recognize that they are treasure cards. And when you're in a battle, if you discard one of the cards that it is giving you the choices of, then you can click on Draw Card, and it will bring a card from this group of treasure cards that you have loaded right here. So we'll talk a little bit more about that when we start fighting, doing our battles with the bad guys. I will tell you that you can quick sell your treasure cards by clicking this button down here. It will bring up a different screen like this, and you can click all the ones that you want to oh, it's asking me if I want to add all of the Amplify cards. No, I don't, because I'm just doing an example here. And you can put as many as you want. And you see the numbers changing here, and you just say sell, and that quick sells them. That's a really, really nice thing. You see I've got 18 pages of treasure cards already, and I'm only a level 10, so you can imagine how quickly it all adds up. Now, I'm going to go back into my spell deck because I also wanted to show you this. This little circle right here says name your deck. So you could click on that and you could number your decks, number 1, 2, 3, 4, or you could say this could be my death main deck. Or you might want a deck for your bosses, or you might want a deck that you use if you're fighting another death. Like if I'm a death and I'm fighting a death boss, so I might want to do that. So now my name is Death Main Deck. That just means it's the deck I'm going to use all the time, right? Now the reason that people have more than one decks, one of them could be a treasure card deck if you've got too many treasure cards but you don't want to sell them yet, or you have bought Empower treasure cards to use up gold. You could put them all in a secondary treasure deck so that it will just hold them for you. It's just another way of organizing. Okay, so that's all I'm going to talk about for this time. I certainly hope that you understood everything I was trying to say. If you have any questions about any of this, feel free to drop it down below into the comments section, and I will try to respond as quickly as possible with the answers to those questions. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you liked the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.